Hi everyone. So to start, I will introduce myself. So first of all, excuse my French. So I'm Frédéric Hebert. I'm the CEO at RiseUp. So just to give you the context, I've joined RiseUp 2 years ago as the CLO of the company, so helping our clients and the team. Prior to that, I was in large organizations leading L&Ds, such as Danone. I don't know if you know this company, selling yogurts, GE, Alstom, big companies. So I've been in L&D for 15 years. And on the other side, before joining L&D, I was in the tech industry. So I moved to tech, to L&D, so I have this dual background. And now I've joined RiseUp to scale myself and help people to follow the journey I've done in the past. So today I would like to share this. It's much more a sharing experience, giving my view on that. What is important for me, it's what I call time to skill. Okay. Quickly, a first introduction of RiseUp. So we are what we call an all-in-one learning solution. So our focus is really equipping the L&D with a solution that can help fill their pain points. So for us, it's key. We are a strong focus on solving L&D pain points. So we have around 600 clients, 5 million users, 80 countries. So not much in detail of RiseUp. If you want to know more after, we have a booth over there. I will ask you a first question. How many of you are you measuring time to skill? Can you raise your hand if you know what time to skill is or if you're measuring that? So it's maybe a metric that you don't know yet, but it's very important for me because I believe it's something key for L&D. To start with, I will address 3 pain points. First one is about changing of the world and how the work is evolving in this new era. The barrier of the learning engagement and the L&D and leader alignment. For me, these 2 elements have a strong impact on what we do. Changing the world of work. So I've put some numbers just for you, if you're not aware, to educate a bit. If you look at that, we see that now 2 years is around the lifespan of a skills. So meaning that every 2 years, skills are changing. They are disrupted. So we have a major challenge about the skills and their lifespan. We have only 20% of people who are future ready. So meaning that we have a skills gap also. So the skills, they will change in 2 years, and the people of today are not even equipped with what they need to achieve today. And 44% of the skill will be changed in 2 to 3. So it depends on the studies, but the skills are not long. They will change in a couple of years, and people are not equipped. So that's the first challenge we are facing right now. Second thing I like to share, it's a pace of change. I don't know if you're familiar with this type of graph, but what we see here, you see a drastic curve about technology. So technology changing rapidly. If you think about 20 years ago, we had internet that enters into our daily life. Then you have the iPhone and mobile phone that change totally the way you operate. 2 or 3 years ago, we have ChatGPT and all AI generative. You have robotics. So we see an increase about technology. Then you have the people, you have the companies and the public policy. So we see clearly a gap, and we need to fill the gap, us as L&D, otherwise we will face a big problem. Does it resonate to you or not? I'm sharing this code that has been released 1 month ago by Hebert about agility. The ability to quickly develop new industry and tech skills is a core engine of competitive advantage, innovation and growth. So we clearly see that now one of the key elements in L&D is agility, and how I can measure the agility. So agility will become something extremely important for the L&D to be able to survive in the pace of change. One other element that is also interesting is what is happening with our learners. So we see that, and it's not my study, it's coming from the market, 85% of the employees are disengaged. So meaning there is a problem when it comes to learn. We have people that are not really into the topic. The attention span, 8 seconds. So I'm hoping that you will stay more than 8 seconds focused with me. Then the production of content. When we need to train people, we need to build content, you need to give them training. And let's say 74 to almost 200 hours, it's to build something basic for any learning. So it takes time. So you're building a time to deliver something that is maybe not accurate. So another challenge. And then the skills, we've discussed that before, and the capability for learners to learn. It's around 25 minutes a week. So you don't have much attention of learners to learn something new. Last, I will give you 30 seconds if you want a flash. It's our latest state of report. We have a lot of finding into it if you want to get all the numbers. I've highlighted few of them just after, but if you want to take time to get the full report, please scan it. So our latest finding is, do L&D initiative a direct impact on your organization's success? So we see 48% is central to a strategy, only 39% are the primary focus, but are not the primary focus. I will never even go in the others. So we know that it's central, but most of it, it's not essential. So we have also a problem when it comes for L&D, the perception of what is the function itself. One interesting figures also that I like, it's about what has been improved in L&D. As you can see, we have 16% of revenue growth, 41% employee retention rate, customer satisfaction, productivity level. Not going much in all of them, I'll let you read. What is very interesting here, when we measure something, it's always about employees, employee engagement, employee retention, that are the two main metrics we measure. When it comes to the business, what is the impact? Because at the end, when we train people, we upskill them, it's for what? It's to provide revenue, to have clients happy, to drive innovation. And we see that there is a clear disconnect between what we do and the impact on these figures that are, at the end game of what we are supposed to do as a L&D, as a function for the business. Again, we are measuring something, but the real outcome, we are not measuring it, or we don't see it. Also interesting figures. We have asked this question, have your learning budget changed year on year? So meaning, are you investing into learning? We see 51% budget have stagnated or declined without taking into consideration these numbers. So we see also that we have the tendency to not invest in this function, which is a problem. We need to upskill people because we see that we have potentially problem on skills, productivity. It will be disrupted, but we are not investing. So another challenging. It seems that it's counter opposite. We also have asked this question: what percentage of L&D recommendations are signed off by senior leadership? So we see that only 29% they are backing the L&D team. But if you're looking at those numbers, I can't really see that the C-suite is really behind the L&Ds as a function to support their initiative. So it's essential, it's important, but you're not having the backup, you're not having the budget, you need to upskill people, you don't have time. I mean, start to me quite big challenges here. And I've summed up that in this triangle of challenges that I quite like to explain a bit where we are facing now. So, less time, less attention. This is becoming more obvious now because 10 years ago, I can tell you we had much more attention. If you look at the study, since we have mobile phone, the attention span, we say 8 seconds. People are watching their phone 150 times a day. So I'm happy nobody's watching his phone today, so you're still focused. But this is a problem. People are losing the focus. So when you train people, you need to have the focus. One problem, and you don't have time also for them to learn. Second, you're facing the C-suite support and the budget constraint. So you don't have investment. How to crack that? Because you will need resources at the end of the day, or you need to maximize these resources to do something. And again, this is also something important, rapid tech evolution and the skill obsolescence. If you look back 10 years ago, I'm not sure it was this type of numbers. It should have been maybe 5 years, 10 years. Now you know that in 2 years, things will change. And You know, if you look at ChatGPT, every day they're releasing something new that is killing one job every day. So you're starting facing a lot of challenges. This, stop trying to measure the ocean. Why I'm saying that? In my previous life, I was saying I was at Danone. Every time they were asking me for every initiative, what the ROI of it? What is the value I'm giving? Okay, so I'm a little bit provocative about stop trying to provide an ROI on that. There is maybe something different you can give to your C-suite to have the support. And what I believe, it's instead of focusing on ROI, focus on impact. This is slightly different. There is a correlation, but this one will be much more impactful when you talk to your leaders. And that's why, and this is why I'm here, I like to share with you this, what we call time to skill. So for me, and this is why I'm preaching to all my clients, why they need to have this matrix in place in their organization, what it looks like and why it's important, and why it matters. So as soon as you're starting to embrace this KPI, you will start having much more agility, and you will understand after why the agility is coming into place in when you operate. The effectiveness, how your L&D initiative are actually working. You will be able to measure the effectiveness of what you're doing. And then the efficiency at the end. Because as soon as you're starting to think about time to skill, efficiency will come. So to sum up, I like to make images to simplify and make it simple to understand. This is what I call time to skill. On the left, you have the resources. Usually it's your budget. It's your people. It's what you're getting to build your learning and deploy. The ocean is what you're not measuring, the ROI. When I'm doing it, and again, my experience at Danone, when you launch a lot of learning initiative for sales, for operation, for HR, for any single function in the organization, how I can holistically measure the ROI, it's quite impossible. You need to have the data point on the operation, on the sales, and even if I have the sales figure, how I can prove that it's L&D that proves the value. So what I believe, what we can do as L&D, the only thing we are in control is this element. It's your process, and you need to work on that. So for us, when we explain time to skill, it's the full L&D process. It comes from identifying the gap, be able to be quick at identifying I have a need, so I need to proactively be able to detect when my people need something. Then there is a big piece on design and build. I've been having a team that have to design e-learning. If it takes 3 months to deploy something, and in 3 months we have change, no value. So there is a big things around design and build. Then the deployment. If it takes ages for you to deploy a training program, again, time to skill will be impacted. And then learn and apply. It's how the capability for learners to easily learn and apply what they've learned. So for us, time to skill is summed up into these 4 major pillars of a learning workflow. Does it resonate for you? Is it something you see in your organization? So how I do measure time to skill in details. It's kind of framework of actions. It's not sequential. It's every single pain point you need to think about when I will put in place this KPI. First, I need to proactively detect the need. If I'm not able to detect when I have a problem, a skill issues, you will never be able to monitor the full cycle of your process. Then defining the proficiency, meaning when someone has been effectively getting what they need to do to perform their job. So you need to work on that also. Track the full journey. If nobody is tracking every single piece of the operation, you will have an issue and you will not achieve a time to skill. Last, account for variable. Take into consideration time to skill as a metric. It will vary based on what you're trying to achieve. If you're training a salespeople, it's different than training someone on the operation. But you need to have that in mind to define what should be your time to skill at global, and then for every single function. And then you will work on that. How I improve this KPI on every single spectrum of the suite. And then you link that with business outcomes. Make sense for you? Clear? No bullshit? So coming back on this one, so what we shared before, basically how you're becoming competent. And I didn't use competency because I'm using the word competent. It's to be able to perform my job. So no skills, no competency. Pragmatic is I'm able to do my job. What you can do first, it works on these three elements. This one is usually what is in control of L&D. This is your team in charge of that. You're mastering when you can identify. You're mastering the design. You're mastering the deployment and onboarding. This is something L&D can work on it. And numbers from CIPD, they have seen that as soon as you have something integrated and even more, a unified solution, you're already decreasing this capability by 30%. So meaning you're doing more with less. For me, it's quite important. Simple example, you're not playing with Excel file for deployment, you're not playing with SCORM modules, so as soon as you unify something, the main days to operate will improve. So think about that for the first part, trying to think about unify my system to make something simple to use and efficient. And you will improve your time to skills. And again, you will improve and iterate. Agility. Then the second piece you can work on, it's the deployment also, and the learn and apply. What can I do to improve these two elements to improve my time to skills? There is solution that exists. This is some findings that we have from our customers that as soon as we implement hyper-personalized learning experience, we see these numbers. First one that I really like is 93% of engagement with recommended content. What does it mean? If I am creating 93% of engagement, people are willing to learn. If you have people that are disengaged by default, two options, they will drop or they will take age to learn. Again, it will impact your time to skills. So think about that. These numbers, as soon as you're putting personalization into your suite, your L&D process, you will improve the engagement. Second, the knowledge retention. It's also similar to what we've seen before, but it improved the knowledge retention of 76%. Why I like this KPI? I've run organization with large budget. We are spending 1 million to train the salespeople. At the end of the day, you don't retain anything because there is this famous concept of the forgetting curve. If they don't remember what they've learned, you're losing money at the end. So retention, it's important also to think about that. It has a huge impact on time to skill because they will not be able to operate later. Also, we've seen 37% improvement into the full learning journey from the beginning of the learning to the end. You improve by 37%. Again, it's another element to improve time to skill. And last one, 74% return improvement on employee engagement. We have putting ROI, but you can also see impact. So think about that. This has a huge impact on what you're doing. And for that, I will give you just one numbers. I don't call that an ROI, but just an impact. This is the impact we measure for organizations that start to apply everything links to personalized journey. If you think about the cost of an employee in the UK, the time allocated to training, if you can shorten that by at least 37% on a yearly basis, this is what you're getting as an impact. It could be quite huge. So it's not an ROI, because the full ROI is somewhere else, but here, at least, when you go to your C-suite, you say, guys, this is the impact I have on the organization by doing that. And you have also other ways to improve these numbers. So the key takeaway for me, and again, it's a sharing, much more than selling something, is L&D are essential to navigating to the future of work. Without us, if we don't support the organization, we'll have people that are not upskilled. They will not be able to operate tomorrow. So we are still essential, but we need to have the the way to discuss with the leaders. So, but still, we're essential. My favorite one, stop trying to talk ROI, talk about impact. It's impossible. And again, I have this simple example that I've used, not at Danone even before. They were asking me the ROI for one product. And my answer was, are you asking any ROI to give a laptop to every employee to perform their job? The answer was no, it's common sense. So it starts with also educating your leader that sometimes you should not provide an ROI, you should understand that it's a value to perform, so having impact. And last, you will win agility. As soon as you're starting to measure this end-to-end KPI, you will be able to improve every single piece and start to be agile on the logic, and you will improve and getting better and better. So that's why I'm a big fan of this KPI, and I'm pushing you to use it and at least to implement it. And then partner with technology to achieve your goals. Why it's important? Technology will help you to scale up. So they will help you to maximize the value. Putting in place digital solution will have an impact on your time to skills. If you have a nice solution, you will win on the first part. You will win on the second part. So really partner with technology solution because you will be better at that. I mean, why partnering with RiseUp? Of course, immediate impact, improve an ROI, build to scale, pioneer in learning. Not going much in that, it was not the purpose of it. And the last slide, if you want to know more, we're on the booth over there. We have champagne in 10 minutes and I will be happy to share with you more of my experience. Thank you.